Good evening, everybody. Our countdown screen is still broken. Kylie has moved out of the house, so she is no longer living here at the house as of this past weekend. So getting my IT department is not here. So the loading screen will kind of come back. On the next live stream. We're definitely not going to be doing one on Andrea tomorrow. So let's go ahead and jump right in here. As we could see, we've got Andrea here on the Nesda site. Basically a naked swirl of clouds right now. It's struggling to produce any type of convective activity, shower activity, really anything. There's just a few showers on this one little rain band. That's it. That's all we have. So as you can see, it's located way out here in the subtropical Atlantic, out in the absolute middle of nowhere. And currently, this is wild. We're located at 37.9 north, 47.4 west, about 1,110 miles west of the Azores. Maximum sustained winds are 40 miles an hour, moving northeast at 20 miles an hour. But the minimum central pressure is 1,015 millibars, or 29.98 inches of mercury. I have never, ever seen a tropical cyclone this high in its pressure. Ever. Ever. So I digress on that one because, yes, this was a tropical cyclone, especially overnight. But then when the sun came up, poof, it was gone. So as you could see here with the discussion, I'll go ahead and read this because it does explain it. Deep convection associated with Andrea collapsed around 1500 Z, 11 a.m. Eastern, and has not redeveloped. The latest subjective Dorivac current intensity estimates from 1.5, which is in line with the degradation in satellite presentation. Scatterometer data from earlier this morning showed numerous 33 to 36 knot wind barbs, so the initial intensity for this advisory is held at 35 knots. I think that is being giving with the satellite presentation that we look at. The initial motion is 50 degrees at 17 knots. This motion is expected to continue through dissipation, which is forecast to occur by 24 hours. The track forecast closely follows the latest consensus guidance. The clock is ticking on Andrea now with the loss of deep convection. This will be a short-lived tropical storm as environmental conditions will become increasingly hostile during the next 12 to 24 hours. Water temperatures will drop to around 20 to 21 degrees Celsius, with vertical wind shear increasing to 30 to 40 knots in a dry mid-level environment. The intensity forecast shows Andrea becoming a post-tropical remnant low later tonight, with the system expected to dissipate on Wednesday. So the final advisory is expected here in about 5 hours. If we look at the cone, yeah, all right. It's self-explanatory. There's no threat to land, nothing. Jumping over to tropical tidbits, I do want to show everybody, this is the infrared satellite, and when I said that it's struggling to make any shower or thunderstorm activity, I really mean it. I mean, like, there's nothing. And if we go back to this, it's basically a naked swirl of clouds. If we look at the water temperatures, as we could see, it is up here fixing to cross this wall and get into this 20 to 21 degree wall, get into much, much cooler waters. The temperature difference between the upper levels of the atmosphere and the surface is the reason that we were able to generate this. And I will show you guys that here momentarily on EarthNull. Now, the European ensembles today, yesterday it didn't show anything, today it does. So if we go out 7 days here, we see nothing. If we go out 8 days, we don't really see anything. But at day 9, we're starting to get a few circles here coming off the southeastern portions of the United States in association with a stalled out frontal boundary. If I get to day 10, we've got quite a few circles. Now, The majority of these, especially if it is in the Atlantic, will attempt to try to race off to the northeast. So it's nothing on the cards just yet. It is just the signal from the model. That's it. All right. Now, if we compare that with the GEFS and we go out 7 days, as you could see, we've got a little, not a lot, 8 days. We're starting to get a little bit of action over here into the Alabama area. Day 9, day 10, get a little bit off the North Carolina coast here, but not a lot. So, not really. We could. There ain't no question about it. It's way too far out on the models for any type of confidence or certainty. But there's a little bit of a signal there. No question about it. Our dust model, as you can see, we are still dealing with a great amount of dust. We've got one little gap that's going to be coming through, but otherwise than that, if you look in the forecast models, a lot of dust is being ushered across the Atlantic. This is going to dry out the atmosphere and just make things take longer to try to get itself organized or developed. If we jump out here into the Eastern Pacific, we now have Invest 95E. It still has 10% chance of development over the next 48 hours and a 70% chance of development over the next 7 days. This has not changed a single bit in over 48 hours. 48 hours ago, it had a 10% chance of development, and 48 hours from then to now, it still has a 10% chance of development. So, we're keeping a watch on it. It's not really too much to talk about. As you can see, it's starting to try to coalesce a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity right here. So it's this little swirl that we're watching if you really want to get technical with it. And I'm sure that there's multiple little surface features out there rotating around it. Now, jumping over to Earth Null, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to Andrea. That is the one that has triggered the live. As you could see, it is already starting to get incorporated with these southwesterly winds moving it off to the northeast. If we come up to the 850 millibar level, you could see it's really starting to widen out. When we get to the 700, it is not a cohesive circulation, at least here what Earth Null is showing. It's very large at all. The 500 millibar level is there, but then when we get into the 250 millibar level, about 6 miles up into the atmosphere, there is a great amount of shear already impacting this. And if we just drop this into the dry air, the relative humidity at the 700 millibar level and the 500 millibar level, shouldn't have to say much more than that. I mean, we've got the moisture down at the surface, but as those clouds start to rise and try to condense and you maybe convect, there's nothing there, folks. I mean, Andrea is pretty much dead. So unfortunately, we got to talk about it, but it's not really there. Okay, jumping down here to the Eastern Pacific, I'm going to put our trusty green circle. As you could see, our area of invest is kind of embedded within the monsoon trough here. And if we go up in height, it does have at least up to a 700 millibar cohesion, maybe about, 2 miles up above the atmosphere or up above the ocean surface. The 500 millibar level is just an absolute mess. And then as you can see, we do have a little bit of shear, but an area of upper level divergence just to its west. So we'll have to keep an eye on this because this 500 millibar level area here could drag this 700 and lower area, could try to drag it off to the west there. And it can't, and don't want to get up too high, because if it gets too close to this is the, and I'll highlight this right here. This right here is the Isthmus of Tehuantepec, and a wind gap event is currently ongoing. So this could create low-level shear if it does get too close. But right now, it's struggling to do much of anything. It'll be interesting to see what we have with the 8 p.m. Eastern outlook. As far as jumping out to the Western Pacific here, we still have Sapat, or CPAT. As you can see, it's 30 knots. It's basically a tropical depression at this point. Still a little bit close call here for the areas in Japan, but not a lot. As you can see, they're getting more shower and activity, rainfall activity with this associated frontal boundary and upper level low than they are from this tropical system itself. And of course, Invest 96W is forecast to move off. It still has not developed. And again, the Global Tropics Hazards Outlook, a new one will come out tomorrow. I'll have that posted up onto the page with the discussion that is associated with it. So just giving everybody an opportunity to look at the next couple weeks. Again, the new one will come out tomorrow. Okay, everybody, that's about all I have. It really is kind of, as you could see, it was kind of pointless to do a live tonight, but like we've always said, 40% or higher, a name storm in the basin, and we're here. So we're here. We ain't really got a lot to talk about, but we're here. So with that, everybody, I'm definitely not expecting to go live anytime in the near future. I don't see anything unless we get something in a week or so coming off the southeastern coast. But we'll have to wait and see how that coalesces and if it becomes tropical in nature. We can get a cyclone, but it doesn't necessarily have to be tropical in nature. Those ensemble screens cover things that are all cyclones, not necessarily just tropical in nature. But as you can see, there's a great amount of wind shear, dust. I mean, it is very, very hostile conditions across the Atlantic right now. So, all right, everybody, have a wonderful time, evening, everything, and then we'll talk to you all again in the future. Have a good night.